In Exodus 12:13, it says this: "The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt." So Exodus 12 is basically a blueprint for how God's plan has unfolded so far, and a blueprint for how his plan will inevitably unfold. So in Exodus 12, the Israelites and Egyptians were about to face the last plague that would set the Israelites free from Egypt and from oppression. And this was the plague of the firstborn. And this was due to God executing judgment and wrath on Egypt and on oppression. And God wanted to show mercy, so he instructed the Israelites to take an unblemished 1 year old lamb, to slaughter it, and then smear the blood on the doorposts of their house. So this unblemished lamb would act as a substitute for the firstborn of that household. So instead of the firstborn being killed, it would be that unblemished lamb who would take that punishment and wrath. And this slain lamb, the blood of this slain lamb, would shield the household from God's wrath during this plague. So basically, every time God saw a household with blood on the doorposts, it would signal to him that justice and judgment and wrath was already administered. So no more wrath was needed because the lamb took that punishment and took that death. So he passed over that house. And likewise, Jesus is that unblemished lamb in the prime of his life who was crucified for us and whose blood shields us from God's wrath and sets us free and sets us free from oppression. And there's like so much depth in this passage. Like, it's also important to understand that like the blood had to be manually applied to the door frame. Like, blood wasn't just magically on every Israelite's door frame. Like, it took obedience and faith to actually apply the blood. So it reminds us that it takes faith to be shielded by Jesus' blood. And another interesting thing that I've noticed is that the blood was on the outside of the houses, so it was seen by everybody and all the neighbors and all the people in that area. So it reminds us to not be ashamed to be covered by the blood of Jesus, and it teaches us to be bold and to not be ashamed of Jesus. And we may sometimes come across as annoying, as weird, but we shouldn't care because the blood of Jesus is extremely powerful, more powerful than anything we can imagine in it, and he acted as a substitute for us.